And as promised, today we are going to do Async JavaScript. It's a bit of confusing form of JavaScript, but it is necessary because it contains promises and all, and which are used everywhere. Mainly in the Node.js code, it will be used a lot. And on top of it, what happens? This promises and all. You have to, when you do API call through even a front-end library like React and all. And my course after this next week is React.js week. So those API calls which you do, they also involve promises. Although we do it through Axios and Fetch, you should have a knowledge of Async JavaScript because async wait and all those things are there. So let's get started with our asynchronous JavaScript journey. And let me share my screen. Hope you're able to see my screen. Nothing, just the sun is there. Because today what we are going to do, today we are going to do it in JSBin. Again we are going to do in JSBin as always. So let me open Google Chrome and let me make it a bit bigger, and I will open JSON because everything we are going to do it here only. How much is the 150 is more than enough. So JavaScript, and this time I will not do the console. This time I will do the output, so that we can get the output. We can see the output. Output is something like a real HTML output. So I generally do with JSON, or I will do it with VS Code. Today we are going to do with JSON. So the first thing which we are going to do is callbacks. So first thing we should understand, what is this async JavaScript. Async JavaScript means JavaScript is a single threaded language. So what happens in JavaScript means suppose some API call comes. API calls are the calls in which you have to call some endpoint in the internet. So those APIs are generally made through the backend, and those takes 1 or 2 seconds. Suppose you go to the facebook.com. So where does all of your data comes from? You go to your profile, all of your data is already there. So it does a API call to the Facebook server located somewhere in the USA. And if you have a slow connection, you will see that some loading thing is coming and it takes time to load. Why it takes time to load? It takes time to load because it is going all the way to the US and getting the data. Even if it is located in India and you are on some 2G internet, or maybe at your place the internet is very slow, so you will see that thing. So those API things generally, even with faster internet also, it will take 1 or 2 seconds. So when it takes 1 or 2 seconds, it will actually stop everything. If JavaScript is a single threaded, so you might think it will stop everything, but actually it is not stopping everything. What happens in JavaScript is super fast because of that only. Means when something like this comes, async kind of thing come, it goes to the next line and execute the next line, and then when it is done, it comes back. There is something known as event loop. If you want to know more about it, you should know about event loop. What is event loop in JavaScript? Actually, that event loop part comes from the browser, and so that event loop is there. Okay, so let's get started with a lot of talk I have done. So let's see an example. As I've told, first thing which we are going to do is a callback. So callbacks are from the starting of JavaScript. Okay, async JS callbacks. Okay, so callbacks we are going to do, and let us have some const posts equal to like this. Let me have this as title basics JavaScript basics. So I have an array of objects, just like the most common format to transfer data in the internet. Summary, I will also have, yeah, summary, title and summary. This post contains the basics of JS. Then this one will be DOM basics. This post contain the basics of DOM. So it's just like a array of object is there. Okay, so next what I'm going to have is a function get posts set timeout and set timeout, let output equal to like this. So just why I'm taking set outputs, I'm taking set timeout. Why I'm taking the set timeout? Set timeout taking because set timeout mimics that API call call in a very good way. How set timeout is a function in JavaScript which I can pass the second this parameter, the second parameter as 1000. So it will run after 1 second, 1000 millisecond, it will run after 1 second. Okay, so now I will run the posts dot for each, and we are going to learn for more on for each in the ES6 session. For each is like a for loop. Okay, so that you should that just wait for tomorrow, and tomorrow is ES6. Okay, it's a very important thing, ES6, and you all should attend that. ES6, one of the most important thing to learn before React, or else no React is there. Output. See, for learning React, our main motive should be always learning React. Only this much JavaScript is required. What I am telling, you should not go deep into JavaScript, more deeper than this. JavaScript is such a big thing. You will take 4 years even to master it. Even I have not mastered it completely. It takes more than 4 years. It takes 4 books to master JavaScript. You don't know JS. Those books are not. You don't know JS. They're so thick books, and those things are not required. Maybe some of them are required for interview purpose, but that are not required actually. Okay, so for each post I'm talked about, for each post output plus equal to I have done, and then the template is string item. So output is initially what the output is initially empty string. Then I will do maybe h4, maybe h4 dollar. So template string I'm taking, so I can do dollar post post. I'm looping through this array, post array, and then taking a post, single post, so post dot title, and h4 I will end, and then I will give a paragraph tag. So you can do like this in JavaScript, and then you will see what I will do, because we have already done the DOM section already, so you know what I will do. Post dot summary, and I will end the paragraph here. So it will give me it will give me h4p 2 times, because these are 2 times, so it will give me 2 times. And then what I have to do, I will come here and document dot body dot inner html equal to output. So document I'm inserting in the body, document.body. So actually we have access to this also. This just have a body and nothing else is there. So I'm inserting in the body itself, document.body or inner HTML. And inner HTML is important because it contains HTML also, and I'm giving the output. As I've told, it will right now it will have 2 h4s and p, one after the another. Okay, so function get post is there, it will run after 1 second, but it is not that much easy. We'll have another function also. So if I run get post like this, so see, get post, anyways we are going to run it. So get post I'm run, so it will see, it took a bit of second, it took actually 1 second, exactly 1 second. After that it is done. So it is not that much easy. As I have told, I'm going to have another function create post, and post, and again I will have a set time out, set timeout, post dot push post. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I will get this post in this function parameter, and I am pushing it to post. So this post I'm pushing, but the main thing is that it will run after 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds. Okay, so now let us call the create post. Create post, and let me copy this, and it is sync basic. This will contain the basic of A, S, Y, and C. Okay, so now I'll run it again. Waiting 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second. We are not even getting this async basic. Why we are not getting this post content? We are not getting this. This happens because this is happening after 2 seconds, and after actually our post array contains this, but this is happening first. This create get post is run. So get post run after 1 second, and then the create post comes. Create post run after 2 seconds. So this is obvious that 1 second it is done, and it run all these things for each and all these things it is done, and it will do this thing. It will show us this thing. But by the time this create post is run and post is run, this get post has already run, because it is running after 2 seconds. It has already been run. So what is happening? Our DOM, it is known as our DOM, is already got painted. Although it might contain that post, it will contain that async also. It will contain 3 elements, but it will not be printed because get post already ran after 1 second, and it is running after 2 seconds. So this is a problem. So this is not a callback. Actually, we will solve it with a callback. So how we will solve it with a callback? So we will solve it with a callback by not calling the get post like this. So I come here and have a name callback. So this is not required that I should name it a callback. So I am naming it a callback here, and I am calling this call back like this. Callback I'm calling like this. So callback is actually a function. So that's why I'm passing the function reference and then calling it. Okay, so what I'm calling, I will now put X. Now I will remove it. Actually, not call it like this. I will. So now it accepts a second parameter. So I'll do like this, call get post. I like this, I'll do, and now run with JS. So see, everything is coming after 2 seconds. So what is happening here right now? So here what is happening? So it is coming here, post dot push post, it will do post dot push post, it will do, and it will be added here. But the thing is that you might be thinking that it is waiting. It is not waiting actually. The moment it do post dot push, and it sees that, okay, and it goes to the next line, callback, and callback is nothing but get post. So get post is done. Get post is done, and it reads all these things are done. But it sort of stops it. Why it sort of stops is because it will run after 2 seconds. So this is sort of stopped, okay, because you will run after 2 seconds, not after 1 second. So callback is there, but it will not run. It will run after 2 seconds. It sort of stops it. So post is there 2 seconds. After 2 seconds, this get post is run, and it will print everything. So it is not actually stopping, but this is how it runs. Means first this thing will be waiting. Okay, so this is one thing for our callbacks. Okay, so now we are going to learn about promises. As I have told, this callback is a bit of older thing, and we should not use this that much. That is not bad. There is something known as callback hell. So you should learn about it. You should Google about it. Callback hell, very important interview question again, and it complicates codes if it get more. So this callback will complicates the code. Okay, so for that, actually around 2015 in with ES6, there was something known as promises were involved. Promises were added in JavaScript language. So in 2015 a lot of changes were done through ES6. So these promises were done, and promises are much better than callback. So we are actually again going to actually copy some of these things, and let me copy all of this because it is almost similar, means not almost similar. So promises I'll do. So this get post will be similar, but this create post, what will happen, this set timeout is there. This set timeout, first thing is that I'm not going to call the get post like this anymore, and there will not be any callback. It will be a normal post, and this callback thing will not be there. But what we are going to do, we are going to wrap this set timeout is something known as promises, and these promises you will see them first time if you are doing a node.js programming, and if you do some front-end programming, which we are going to do soon with React, this promises happens on the back, means when you do something, we are going to use something known as access or fetch, and it will happen in that. So might see a fetch thing also later on. So fetch example also we'll see. So return new promise. So we have to wrap everything with a promise, as I've told. Return new promise like this, and actually let me, okay, it have got two parameters and both of them are important: resolve, reject. These two parameters it have, and now so this resolve reject is done. Okay, so one thing is there, promises always return either resolve or reject, so you have to return them. So how do we return them? In real world scenario you will have some cases that it will resolve or reject, but this is a very simple program. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just resolve and reject it based on something, and I will show both of the cases. Then I will have a const num equal to 5, and then num is greater than 4, which it is obvious it is greater than 4, so I'm using ternary operator, and then resolve and reject error, something is wrong, something is wrong, and after 2 seconds it will come. Okay, something is wrong. So in this case it will resolve. Why it will resolve? Because 5 is greater than 4, it will resolve. We'll soon see the other case. So when promises happens, what happens in with promises, you, when we are going to receive it, so when we doing a create post, because I have wrapped it with a promise, I will return something. It will return me something. It returns us us anything. So if the if it is resolved, so what happens, when we're calling it, then we'll have a done block. So when it is resolved, when the resolve is written, then the done block is the corresponding block which will run. If a reject is written, then there is a catch block is there. Okay, so like this, dot then is there, it will be called, in our case it will be called because resolve is there. So here I will do get post. Okay, get post I will call, this get post I will call. So first this thing will run, and this will, after 2 seconds the resolve will be get, then it will go to the get post, and if it is not there, okay, so dot catch or document dot body dot inner html equal to dollar $. So this in the case of error, so this will only run if there is a reject, which is not the case right now. So see, it is taking a bit of time. It is taking 2 seconds exactly, and I got all those things, and this is much modern code. You should always use this. Okay, and now I will see, means let me make it 4. So 4 is not greater than 4, so it will definitely gives a reject, and I will do a run with JS, and even this will take, and this will run. So this is what is all about. Resolve and reject corresponds to then and catch. Okay, so then and the catch it correspond. Okay, so now we will see another thing before changing this pattern a bit, because I want to show one more thing in promise first. So there is something known as promise.all, and it is a very important matter. If you do a node.js coding, this is a very important thing, promise.all. So promise.all means we can chain promises in that, and the result will only be shown when once the slowest one is done. Although JavaScript doesn't stop for anything, it will do all the processing, but the main result will be shown only after the slowest one is done. So that is promise.all. So let me do that. jsbin JavaScript output, and promises.all, and we'll have four promises here. Const promise 1 equal to promise dot resolve eat. I'll do. So you can directly send the resolve also. So here we have done the whole thing, but you can send directly the resolve also. So const promise 2 equal to new, to make it a bit big, new promise resolve reject set time out resolve 3000 and code. So what it is doing, it is it is happening after 3 seconds, and set timeout we are doing a resolve, and after 3 seconds. So this is also one of the way, and we are doing the code. Okay, so now promise 3 will be like, so let me have some space also here. So famous thing. Okay, and this one promise 4 will be after 2 seconds. So it doesn't matter, this 3 seconds is there, 2 seconds is there. Okay, eat repeat, eat code sleep repeat. So famous word for software developers. And promise dot all, and here we have to pass those promises in an array. So I will come here and promise 1 comma promise 2 comma promise 3 comma promise 4 dot then and values. So dot then I'll do, and I will get the values. So after all of them are done, after 3 seconds, it will happen exactly after 3 seconds. And then document dot body dot inner HTML equal to dollar values I will going to do. And the values, when we have these values, we get access to all these values which is there. Okay, so 1 2 3 seconds. Yeah, after 3 seconds, eat code sleep repeat. Although this came after last, but what happens in JavaScript, this eat is there, it is the 3 seconds is there. Okay, you do not wait for that, but it will see what is there, and then this is there, it will come after 2 seconds. Then it will also happen, but the thing is that uh, the final result will get after this 3 second thing is resolved, and we'll get in the order. It is not like that sleep will come after eat and repeat it will come, no. And that is one of the benefit of promise.all. Okay, so that is there. Now actually we are going to do async await. So async await is a thing which is much newer than your promise or promises also. It is a much newer concept than promises. Okay, so it was around the 2017 this was been done, promises, this async await. And most people are divided. Even some people prefer to do this then and catch block. More, both of them are okay. Nobody uses callback nowadays, and some people uses this async await. Okay, so some people like this, like I use a mix of both in most of the code you will see. Okay, so now the thing is that it will also, this part will be same. It will also return a promise and all those things will be there. And let me copy this thing and let me do a JS bin JavaScript output, and what is coming like this. Okay, and this is async JS or async JS, async await. I'll do async await. I'll do, and as I've told, this part will be the same. No changes is there. Only the change will be here. So how do I run this create post and then the get post? So here, what I have to do, I have to create a function actually, and the function is function init. I'll do, and see init I'll do, and control X, control, I'll move it inside this. Okay, I'll move this inside it. Okay, move this inside, and then I will run the get posts like this after this. And I have to call this init function also, so I'll call this init init function. But the main thing is that it is not like this, not like a normal function. You have to put this word in front of the function async. This word you have to put in front of the function, and here I have to do await. I will do await. I'll do the await, async await. So when it sees this await, okay, it sorts of wait. Await means wait. It will wait till it is completed. So this, it will complete after 2 seconds, then only it will go to the get post. Actually it goes to the get post before itself, but because it is 2 seconds, it is running after 2 seconds. If there won't have been any 2 second or something, so generally you will see that here we do the API calls. So this part is generally the backend code. This part is generally the backend code. Okay, so we'll do the API call and all. So this is done. So 2 seconds it will sort of wait, and after that the get post is done. And if I run it, 1 2, yeah, we get all of those three in the perfect order. Okay, so this is all about async await. Okay, so now we will see one of the last thing here, and that last thing is fetch. The real, as I've told that we'll see the fetch here, and fetch from where we are going to do. And there is a famous site known as JSON placeholder, and it is we can do the post also, but we do the, it is something known as users. Okay, something known as a user. So what this users give, it gives me a list of users, array of object it will give like this. So we'll use this and get it, and we will do it through async await. Okay, so let me do that. JS bin. Okay, JS bin I have done. JavaScript output, and async wait fetch async. Again we have to use it async function fetch users like this, and then so we'll do this fetch users, we'll call it like this, fetch users. Okay, so there is something which comes inbuilt in the browser nowadays, which is known as fetch API, through which we are going to do the API call. There is another thing which is known as access, but for access we have to do an npm install. And in simple cases like this, it is very difficult to do the npm install. We have to build a npm project, npm with npm init and all those things. So with this browser thing we cannot, and so it's an additional package. So when something is inbuilt, it is much more easier to do. So the fetch is inbuilt in the browser, as I'm telling. So but there is a drawback in fetch. Actually, 2 times you have to do the await. So that is a drawback. That is a sort of a skeleton for that. Okay, await I'll do, and then fetch. Okay, fetch. What fetch? So just this fetch command I have to do. So this, as I've told, this promises and all these things, all of these things, whatever this promises, and this is done by the backend. This is done by this API endpoint itself. So they might have written it in Node, Java, .NET, who knows. Okay, so we can find out. Anyways, it is not like who knows. We can find it out. Okay, am I using Chrome? Yeah, I'm using Chrome. Oh, so this is a tool. Oh, they have used it in created in Node.js also. Only Express.js it is showing. So this tool tells us about what they have done. So they have done in Node.js and Express. Okay, that's cool. They've done it in JavaScript. Okay, so this I will go there and users endpoint. And as I told, there is a problem with fetch. This problem is not with access. We have to do again. So this sort of, you can check the MDN or Mozilla Developer Network documents, and you'll see that you have to do it twice. And because it doesn't return the exact data, you have to do it like a rest.json. It returns the JSON data, and you can learn more about this. But this is every time this boilerplate code you have to use. Okay, and then what we are going to do, we are going to do something like this only. Let output. Okay, let output, and like data dot for each, data dot for each, and item. Let me write everything out. Put plus equal to, make it bold, dollar item dot name. So item dot name, what is this item dot name? So item dot name is this name. Okay, item dot name, because we are going to get an array of object like this. So this object has got item dot name. I'm showing the item dot name, and item dot email also I will show, because I don't want to go too much deep. But this I'll show in a bold tag, and the other thing I will show in a p, and that is dollar item dot email p I'll do, and then doc q. Okay, why I'm taking it? When something is there, why should not I copy paste? I'm a software engineer. So document.body.inner.html is output I'm doing, and let me run it now. And I'm getting the data from the API endpoint. So this code is always same like this you have to do. So even a bigger project, a smaller project, all of them, sometimes you have to do some data massaging. That is known as data massaging. Is not in the correct format in which you want, because this I'm just showing like this. Most of the time you will send, if you are doing it in a React, you send it to some other component, and then you will see it. Okay, so actually we completed async of it. It is not that much big, and that's it for today. Means ES6 is there, but I don't want to start it today because this thing should be different than ES6. So ES6 we are going to do it tomorrow. If it takes a bit of time, bit of more time, I will do for 1 hour, maybe 10-15 minutes I will extend. And if it will take a bit of more time, we'll do it on a Saturday, because I have always told that Saturday I'm ready to do it for 2-3 hours, because generally on weekdays what happens, I have a batch at 10, also 10 p.m. IST. I have a batch for web app development. So I run 2-3 batches. So one is at 10 to 11. So those batches are taken in Skype and all, and You can learn more about it if you know about me. Those you can learn in the description. They are like group batches. Some of them are one-to-one also, because I'm starting off. So those batches I teach everything from starting HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, Man, projects, job assistance, whatever you need, whatever career guidance you need, because everybody don't need job assistance. Everybody is different. Okay, so the person whom I'm teaching is already doing some work and he's earning good. Now you want to change it to web development because he's doing a dead end job, just like most other people. Most of the jobs are dead end jobs, in which you don't learn anything. No job is like a developer job. Like, it is the second best job in the world after astronaut job. I think you know, because you're doing daily a different thing. Only the astronauts are someone who do daily a different thing. No other job is there in the world. So if you don't, if you also want to get out of a dead end job, do learn web development from me or someone else. Anyone you can learn. You will get the high after doing, after creating something of your own. You will see how good it is. Okay, so with this I'll end today's stream. I'll see you tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 4, and day 4 is a very important day because we're going to learn ES6, which is a must if you want to be a React.js developer, which I help most people to become. Thank you.